Hello and salutations, it's me, Salty. Welcome back to 2 Cents Toys, and today I'm going over a McFarlane Toys Batman, which is something I don't normally talk about on the channel. I think I've only discussed a Batman twice, I think. I don't know. I have to look at my old videos. But I picked this up at GameStop for the low price of like 30 bucks. A little more expensive than I'm used to seeing from McFarlane because I find them at Walmart mostly. But I picked it up because I really like this look of Batman. And I really like the Joker head. That's kind of the big reason I picked it up. And it's a Build-A-Figure for Bane. Bane is one of my favorite villains, so I'm gonna buy them all to get Bane, basically. That and I ordered the Scarecrow. Anyway, I'm getting ahead of myself. Looking at this box, you see we get Batman, some Bane pieces, Billy Club, Joker head says Batman down here, says McFarlane Toys up top. To the side it says Batman and Last Night on Earth. Other side is a window continuation. I showed you the bottom already, but here it is. And the back gives us this artwork, which says it's from Batman Last Night on Earth, how to build a figure and where the pieces come from. I already picked up Scarecrow, and I ordered these two, but I don't plan on keeping these two figures. I just wanted to build a figure in Scarecrow mostly. All that out of the way, I'm going to get him open. We'll look at his articulation. We'll look at his accessories. I'll put him next to a couple things and we'll call it a day. There's the card, and there's the stand. It has an embossed DC on it. Full disclosure, I'm just being lazy and I don't feel like cutting those out, so there you go. And since I have a black background now, there's his Billy Club in front of my hand, just so you can see it. We have some kind of sculpted grooves there and the Billy Club part, so pretty simple. It's a little big for his hand though, but if you force it, it'll fit. The other accessory is the Joker's head in a jar. I don't know the kind of story behind this, but I do like the way that it looks. I think it's pretty cool. Whether his head is actually alive or not, I have no idea. I'm sure if you've read it, you can let me know, but I do like this quite a bit. I think this is really cool. Requiring a little bit of finesse, it will fit in there, still with some room to wiggle. But as you can see, it does chew up the paint on the hands, so there's that. Same with the Billy Club. There's some paint residual there. I don't know if you can make that out or not. So there's a loop on the belt for that, so that's where that's going to live, which I'm just going to go ahead and talk about it now. That belt is like cheap, like dollar store plastic. At least that's the way it looks. You can still see some of that flashing up there at the grip of the Billy stick. Not too terribly keen on this belt, and it's completely devoid of paint, so probably have to do some of that myself. That leaves us with Batman, who is very thin-lipped. I do like the straps on his head that give him the little bat ears. I think that's pretty clever. Again, I don't know anything about this design. I know the W is for Wayne, I guess, though I would think it would be an A for Arkham, but again, you'll have to let me know the story behind it if you know it. To my, I guess, normie brain, as the case may be, I would assume it'd be an A for Arkham, but you know, again, if you know, let me know. We have some nice paint there on the gauntlets, which I like the kind of rock look there, or maybe broken metal. I don't know what that is for his little gloves. Nice silver buckle painted there. I like the addition of the straps for his straight jacket that go all the way down to the ankles, but it's made of that same kind of cheap looking plastic that the belt's made out of. I don't like that his legs are kind of molded, if that makes sense. Like his right leg, which is on your left, is kind of molded at an angle. I don't think that's a result of heating. I think that's just the way it was made, so he kind of has like a perma-pose to him a little bit. And again, there's those peg ball pegs, which were breaking up the boot sculpt, but you know, we'll get to that. Otherwise, like kind of the gray dry brushing that was done and everything gives it a little aged look. I wish that had continued up onto the torso and the arms though. This guy probably is going to get some more dry brushing or something. This may end up being a custom video at some point. I don't know yet. I do like the stitching and kind of the textured pattern to his straight jacket there. I like the addition of rips and tears, which I think need some paint on them. I like those kind of holes, which I'm assuming are bullet holes, but I don't know. Let's go ahead and go over articulation since we covered detail. That's as far as he can look up. That's as far as he looks down. We get side to side, but he does crash into his collar. We get a little bit of tilt. Same thing, crashes into the collar. Shoulder can spin 360 with no problem. Comes up at a 90 very easily. And we get that kind of gyroscopic butterfly joint, which now that I've covered the McFarlane, I think that's just a really long peg, and that this is just decorative to kind of hide that. But because of that, you can kind of sink the shoulder and bring it up a little bit. You get forward and back. Not a lot, but it's there. We have swivel in the bicep. Double jointed elbows come up that far. We have that peg ball peg in the wrist, which again is a swivel on each end with a pivot in the middle. Just got to position it which way you want it to go. But while I'm here, that does bother me, that we get that beige cut down into the forearm. I much would have rather they'd gone with a single jointed elbow to avoid that, but you know, I understand why it's there. It's just, I think a single joint would have been better to not break that up, especially if it's two different colors. He leans forward that far, leans back that far, though you do get a gap if you try to force it any further. And I wish that they had done some kind of painting inside of here, but they didn't. We get side to side, which mine clicks, but it's present. Same thing with the swivel. It clicks, but it's present. He has this kind of rubber diaper, which hinders his leg articulation, which means he can only kick forward that far, but he can kick a lot further back. kicks out. We get that standard McFarlane thigh swivel, which is all you get. Double joint in the knee comes up that far. There's no boot swivel, but we have the peg ball peg in the foot. Again, I explained that with the wrists, and a toe pivot. For height comparisons, here he is next to the Necron Warrior, Motu Origins Trapjaw, Classified Destro, and a Kenner Batman. And that's really all I got for you today. Some paint is missing. You know, I like the sculpt overall, and the parts that are paint that I do like, I do feel like they skimped out on the straight jacket straps and the belt. It just feels kind of like dollar store plastic, if you know what I mean. It just feels cheaper. But I really like that Joker's head in a jar. And I like the idea of Batman being locked up in an insane asylum. Again, I don't know the backstory on this at all, but I do think it's a cool look. And it has potential once I take some paintbrushes to it. I may end up doing that, I may not. If it's something you'd like to see, let me know, and I'll try to make time for it. It would just be a quick dry brush. It wouldn't really be much detail at all other than the belt. If it were the normal price of like $20, $25, whatever they are at Walmart, I wouldn't, sneer so hard. But I think it's just because I paid the premium price at GameStop for $30. But maybe that's the cost of the ones with Build-A-Figure pieces. I don't know. I don't think I've ever bought a McFarlane figure that has a Build-A-Figure piece with it. So maybe that's where the extra cost is coming from. I don't know. You let me know what you think down below, or especially if you know anything about this comic, if it's any good or worth reading at all. It looks really cool based on this, but I could be way off based on that. It could be the worst storyline ever. But also let me know if this is a figure you've picked up, or if it's a figure that you're going to pick up or you have no interest in. Other than that, if it's your first time on the channel today and you like what you saw, then all that I ask is that you click like on the video and subscribe to the channel. It's a great way to help me out, and I very much appreciate it when you do. And I do thank you all for stopping by and spending some time with me today. So until next time, I'm Salty, signing off.